Hi guys, Wayne's Butler here. Well, we got an unboxing to do, surprise unboxing. I'm not going to mess around here today. Let's just get right into it. You guys think you might know what it is. You might think you might know what it is, but let's take a look and see what's inside here. Oh, shit guys. I can't believe it. Fucking Enterbay did it to me again. Oh, Jesus. What the hell happened? What in the hell happened to this thing? Did they throw it off a truck? No, I'm sorry, guys. Just trying to be funny. I know, that was cruel. That was cruel. Anyways, that's what's in the box. Here we go. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get into it. This arrived today. Actually, it took quite a while to get here, but it's here now. I think you guys can tell by the size of the box that you know what it is. I've mentioned it in a couple of my last few bids. But let's open it up. Actually, I need to give a major shout out, and I mean a major shout out, to a collector that you know, I know. I haven't seen many bids from him lately, as I haven't seen many from a lot of people, but I'll give you my 2 cents worth at the end of this video on that topic. But, you know, when he offered this to me, when he told me he was going to send this to me, you know, free of charge, I didn't know what to say, you know. Everybody out there knows that I'm in dire need of an HD camera, and when he offered it to me, I mean, obviously I'm not going to refuse, but I was speechless, you know, like, what the hell did I do to deserve this, you know? I know I have a little bit of a low self-esteem and everything, but I just, you know, all I can say, guys, I mean, you guys have seen every part of me, you know. When you guys look through my last number of vids, you've seen me angry, you've seen me happy, and you know, you've seen me sad, you know. I mean, you've actually, you know, I'm a little bit of a crybaby, I suppose. I'm not scared to show my emotions, and you know, you guys did see my one video there on the Colorado shooting, you know, the soft, tender underbelly of my emotions, and I'm not ashamed of that. But, you know, I think it's important for all of us guys to show everybody, you know, the best of what you have, the best of who you are. I think that's always important when you're out in public, especially when you're around your friends and loved ones. Now, you can keep your dark, evil side for your enemies, because I do have that. I'm not perfect. I do have a nasty side, but most people who treat me right are going to get treated right in return. You know, I'm typically a very generous person. I still don't feel I deserve this, but, you know, I guess I now know his name is Ian. So Ian Hassif, he's from Vegas. That's all I'm going to say, but he's from Vegas. Actually one of my favorite locations. I've been down there a number of times. I'm not a big gambler, but I do love the Southwest, as you can kind of tell around my house here a little bit. But anyways, what he's given me here is, well, it's a CyberShot 14.1 megapixels, which is great. I mean, don't know a whole lot about technology, but it's full HD, 1080. I'm going to have to play around with it and learn a few things. As you know, a lot of you guys know, I'm a little bit of a technological Neanderthal when it comes to this sort of thing. Just looking here, guys. Just give me a second. Yeah, it looks like it's going to work. I mean, I'm going to have to learn how to use it. So bear with me on that. But I do have a lot of help. You know, I have a lot of friends out there that I talk to quite often, and you know, they've walked me through a lot of stuff on the computer. I mean, I've learned so much on the computer now from you guys out there, a number of you, and you all know who you are. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be where I am today without you as far as, learning how to use my computer. I've always kind of holding back on technology most of my life and kind of threatened by it. I don't know why, but I grew up in 78s. I grew up with 8-tracks. I grew up with cassette CDs. You know what I mean? So I mean, to be able to talk to somebody from anywhere in the world on Skype is just boggles my mind sometimes. I was actually talking to our boy Lambo. I know a couple of you out there wondering where Lambo is. Well, I don't think he minds me saying that he's been holidaying over in Egypt for the last month. I was talking to him a couple times just through messaging on Skype, so when he gets back, we'll catch him up to what's going on. But thanks, Ian. I mean, I love you, man. Just as much as a man can love his brother. It's just, I'm in internal gratitude and an internal debt to you for this, because it's unbelievable. I don't know what to say. What do you say? What do you say to a guy that does something like this? If you guys don't know him, steal a line from Goldie, you sub him, because he's a top-notch guy and he deserves all the respect and the love that we could possibly give him, because there's not too many guys out there like that will do this for somebody. I can't even imagine what that's worth. And the 14. What I do know, that 14.1, that's actually very good. Wow, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, guys, which is kind of unusual for me. I usually am not a man who's at a loss for words. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Half-Sith. You're a top-notch guy, man. It's just, I could sit here for an hour and just keep saying nice things about you, but I think you know how much I appreciate this. Got the little note here. I hope this camera will do its job. I hope to see more videos of you using it, clear ones. Yes, I know a lot of you guys out there, out of respect, weren't really bugging me, but I know every single person who's ever watched my video knows that, oh God, I wish it was clear. I get it, guys. I get it. But as you guys know, my figures, my collection, especially lately, has it's killed me. It's killed me financially. And just a couple of things to talk about. So the camera's out of the way. I'm going to be doing revisiting on everything, basically. I'm not going to start my channel over, but I'm going to be revisiting all my dials. I'm going to do that interrogation room. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to just review my whole collection. We'll do what I can. I will experiment and see what happens. But I do have the Enterbay Joker coming, and I ordered it from Enterbay. I wish I had got my Batman from them, because I ordered it, and the very next day they sent me my order confirmation, said it'd be shipped out around the 1st of September. Very professional company, despite how I treated them the last little while. But I'm not beating that dead horse. And just to give you a little thing what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks here, it's my base. I'm not done yet, but I've done complete pictures of this assembly. Unlike my stand I did for the Batman, those pictures, or that slideshow vid that I put out, wasn't actually intended to be a slideshow vid. I was actually just taking those pics as I was building it for Dean. I mean, I talked to Dean Knight probably most every night in some capacity. And so I was sending them those pics, just because I know he really loves the Batman, and him and I are really into this figure. So that was kind of a last minute thing. But this thing I actually started from the beginning, thinking about you guys, and I kind of broke it down. I think that's a lot easier than me doing multiple vids talking about what I had done, the progress stuff. So I'm going to try to stick with that whole slideshow thing for future dials, whatever they may be. So anyways, I built this all out of wood. Unlike anything that I've done in the past, it's usually been made out of foam. This is 100% woodworking. I still have the backdrop to do. Like I said, I'm going to do a slideshow vid of this whole thing when it's done. So this is just, I'm not even completely done yet. I don't have all the cards on yet. I'm actually waiting for the Dark Knight manual. It comes with Joker cards. I'm going to be filling the sides up. I actually got these cards from the DX01. Got the Heath Ledger tribute card in the center, flanked by, you know, the two Joker cards, the one from the movie, you know, with the real Batman, please stand up. And so we're going to have them down the side. We're going to have the Joker on the top here. I got the wood plank flooring. Wood plank flooring, I just made those out of popsicle sticks, cut the round ends off, laid them all on, stained everything, you know, really looks like wood plank flooring. And so anyways, that's that. And the final thing, as we all know, there's been a number of vids put out. Mass Replica guy just put one out. I left a comment on that. Goldie kind of started the ball rolling. I had no idea what was going on. I'm not hooked up with Facebook or anything like that, so, you know, I'm kind of out of the loop. I only know what's going on through YouTube. I hope Rick doesn't leave. You know, he's a guy that I've had massive respect for. A lot of us wouldn't be here. At least I know I wouldn't be here in the capacity that I'm here in if it wasn't for him. You know, a number of other guys, but I mean, he's on that, you know, he's on that top 5 list that I wouldn't be here without them, kind of thing, you know. He was the one that, you know, gives me the nerve to, you know, stand in front of the camera. So Rick, I mean, if you're watching this, I can understand how this hobby can affect your family life. I don't know if that's what applies to Rick. I don't know, so I'm not going to say something that isn't true. But whatever the reason is, for Rick or anybody else, you know, for anybody else, because I know there's a lot of people out there. I get some PMs from guys now and again talking about how they're kind of fed up, and you know, that rant that I put out didn't really help. I got a lot of people, you know, talking about how they're fed up with stuff, and you know, I'm fed up too, guys, you know, but, you know, I really love this hobby, and you guys know I really love Batman, although, I'll be honest with you, as far as Batman goes, I am, you know, pretty burned out, but, you know, the love's still there. I just, you know, it's like a girlfriend you're madly in love with. Sometimes it's just good just to take a break for a couple of days, and or a week or so, you know, when you get back together, you know, you just love each other more, and that's kind of how you got to treat this hobby. And I don't think you necessarily should leave. You know, everybody has to make their own decision, and I'm not going to sit here and make your mind up for you, because that's not right. You know, it's none of my business what problems some people are going through. But I understand. I mean, this is an expensive hobby, and it's an addiction, and that's the big thing. You know, that's the biggest thing of all. It's an addiction. It's like a drug addiction. And that's something I know a little bit about. And, you know, it's hard to get out. It's easy to get in, but hard to get out. And, you know, for the last little while, I've had a lot of young or new subscribers, you know, telling me that, you know, they're new to the hobby, and, you know, they like my videos and all that kind of stuff. And to them, you know, all I can say to them is be careful, guys, because YouTube itself can be a wonderful source of entertainment. This hobby can be a wonderful source of entertainment, but as long as it doesn't take your life over, because it can suck the life right out of you. The YouTube can be fun, or it can be a dark hole in the abyss, and you can get lost in it. You know, you can easily get lost in it, because not only is the hobby addictive, but the whole YouTube thing is addictive. So you got 2 or 3 things going on here all at once, and it's hard to pull away, you know. But you got to remember, I mean, when you're standing out on the sidewalk with your suitcase and a bag full of figures, because, you know, your family's had enough, then hopefully, you know, you're not faced with that, because that's what the reality of living is, you know. I've had a number of things throughout my life that I've been obsessed with, and I've had the ultimatum, you know, it's either the truck or me, and I'd always sell my car. You know, my cars were big source of obsession throughout my life, and I've been faced with ultimatums, and I'll always choose my wife. You know, I've always choose the woman over whatever I was addicted to, or whatever I was obsessed with. And, you know, like I say, I'm not going to here and make your mind up for you, but if you guys need to take a break, then fine, you know, take the break, but, you know, try not to abandon the community, or try not to abandon the hobby for too long, because I think you find me, because it does have a good site. It's very rewarding. It's wonderful to get these figures. You know, they're great representations of what we love, the movies that we love to watch. But, you know, you got to be careful. You know, you really got to be careful. And I've tripped up myself. I spent the whole first year of this knee deep, buying every figure, every paycheck, buying a figure. Now I have a whole pile of figures that I don't want. I have a whole pile that I do want, and a whole pile that I don't, because I got caught up. You know, and that's, for you young guys, don't get caught up. Just early on, prioritize what you want to buy, what license you want to stick with, and stick with those. And it's hard to resist, but trust me, guys, 2 years down the road, when you look at your collection, you can say, you know, those were figures that I'm glad I bought. Instead of looking, going, holy shit, I spent $5,000 on a bunch of figures that I don't even look at anymore. But, you know, it's really all I can say, guys. Everybody has to make their own mind up. If you guys need to sell your collection, I know we've lost a lot of collectors in the past. They've sold their collection, they stopped doing videos, and you know, Kane's 247. You know, he comes to mind. He's been mentioned a couple times. So he's just one example. And then there's a lot of guys that I just don't hear about anymore. You know, so. You know, life is an ever-changing thing, and like I said to Alan today in the comment section, I mean, time only goes one way. It only goes forward. You know, you can't go back. You can't redo the damage that you've done in your life. Or, you know, if ultimately that's what this hobby has done. But, you know, just be careful, guys. That's all I can say. Just be careful. And thanks, Alan, for putting those videos out. And I think Odell put one out, and even Hate, he put one out. And, you know, speak your mind. You know, don't hold back. Just, you know, if you need to put a video out and tell people how you feel, you know, you're always going to get support. Trust me, guys. Guys won't be, if you leave the community, guys won't be mad. I mean, I don't want Rick to leave. By all means, I don't want him to leave. I'm on a long list of people that I hope he stays. But I do know, and I've lived long enough to know, that family will always comes first. You know what I mean? You can always buy new figs, but when you're standing out on the sidewalk with a suitcase, you know what I mean? That's when reality will hit you. And I hope to God, you know, that doesn't happen to anybody. And there's a lot of guys out there too that are in complete control. You know, that are in complete control. Just, you know, just like an addiction. There's a lot of people out there that can, you know, smoke a joint or drink a couple beers on the weekend with their friends and have no trouble. But unfortunately, there's people out there that can't. You know, can't control themselves. So that's my thought on that, guys. So that's it. I'm going to probably be doing a slideshow vid coming up. See what happens there. 89 Joker, or sorry, Enterbay Joker coming. I'm excited to see that. And that's about it, my friends. Wayne's Butler signing off. Peace and love to all.